Okay, so welcome to our video presentation. My name is Luan, and these are my group mates Ding Ying, Chen Zifu, and Ling Xujia. So our assessment plan summary is literary devices and poetry for Year 5 English. So this is a 40-minute English lesson for Year 5 that focuses on the topic of literary devices in poetry. The class is designed to help students identify, analyze, create, and present the poetry using various literary devices. The lesson targets cognitive and affective domains with clear learning outcomes and assessment methods aligned to different types of assessment. And in ours, it is AFL and AOL. So AFL is used in LO1 and 2 to monitor students and understand them during the learning process and provide feedback for improvement. So for AOL, it's used in LO3 and LO4 to evaluate students' final performance in poem writing and presentation. So our core topics is number 1, identifying and analyzing the literary devices. Number 2, poem analysis and creating original poems using literary techniques. And number 3, oral presentation skills. So our summary focus. So this lesson plan is structured around deeper engagement with literary devices from recognition, analysis, application and writing, and finally presentation. It uses diverse assessment aligned with Bloom's taxonomy to support both content and communication skills. And LO4 focuses on the affective domain, which encourages student confidence, engagement, and creativity. So this is what the assessment looks like.
And principle one is validities. To ensure validity, I measure each assignment task directly measures the skill sets in the learning outcome. For L1, students identify literary devices in our Kahoot quiz. The directly text recognition without involving extra skills. L2 uses a map analyze devices from point, which makes the outcomes focus on analyze. L3 is writing text where students apply 3 devices in a point. This fits the outcome goals of creative application. L4 is presentation where students explain the devices they use. The rubric focuses on the clarity and the explanation, which align with the outcome. All texts are aligned with their outcomes and measured only what they are meant to, so the plan is valid. And principle two, I ensure reliability to consistency through 3 strategies: clear rubric, standardized conditions, and minimizing subjectivity. Rubric includes specific observable criteria. For example, in LO3, we assess current use of 3 devices, not creativity. In L4, we evaluate clarity of explanation, not performance confidence. All students follow the same conditions, identical quiz, map structure, and time limited. To reduce subjectivity, scoring focus on creative outcomes like devices use and explanation quality. In L4, students could present to the class or one-on-one with the teacher, reducing anxiety and ensuring the focus remains on understanding. This bears stable assignments across students.
Let's look at the transparency, which shows that each learning outcome has clear objectives and measurable criteria. For example, in L1, students need to identify at least 5 literacy devices with 80% accuracy. The tasks and expected outcomes are specific and easy to understand. And for L2 to 4, whether it is group analysis, poetry writing, or speech, all instructions and detailed grading criteria are communicated to student in advance. More importantly, the entire learning process from input to practice and performance is carefully designed and clearly communicated to students and teachers from the beginning. This ensures that everyone understands what to do, how to do, and how to be evaluated. And about inclusion and equity, we intentionally designed the program to respect learner diversity, acknowledge cultural backgrounds, and support different learning styles and needs. In L1, we use Kahoot games, simple language, and unified standards to ensure fair participation and the inclusive expression of different students. In L2, students work in groups. Each member can meaningfully participate in different ways. Some may analyze, others may draw or organize ideas. And in L3, students are free to choose their own patron topics. This design allows students from different backgrounds to have the opportunity to express themselves. And in L4, the presentation format uses a speaker selected by the group. This allows shy or language anxious students to still participate in the writing process without being forced to speak. Throughout the program, we strive to provide equal opportunities for all learners, regardless of their language or cultural background.
So for Principle 5, integration with program design. So our learning outcomes aligns closely with the program aims in this lesson, which demonstrates strong integration with the program design. Each task is aligned with the program's aims and supports the development of transferable skills. LO1 involves identifying literary devices through a Kahoot quiz, reinforcing the students' basic knowledge and literary techniques. And it also builds critical thinking in a fun and engaging format. For LO2, which requires students to collaboratively analyze a poem through a mind map, it promotes deep literary analysis while also developing teamwork, communication, and organizational skills. In LO3, the poem writing task encourages creative thinking and independent application of literary knowledge, aligning with the program goals related to expression and writing fluency. As for LO4, it enhances students' effective and oral communication skills through presentation and increases confidence. So for Principle 6, the assessment plan is designed to be manageable for both students and teachers within a 40-minute lesson. So each task is timed and focused. And for example, the Kahoot quiz for LO1 offers a quick yet effective way to assess foundational knowledge without consuming a lot of time. So group work in the mind map task, LO2, allows students to share responsibility and ideas, reducing in individual cognitive load while encouraging collaboration. And for LO3 poem writing, it's set in a 10-minute time limit and encourages and focus on creativity. And as for LO4 poem presentation, it's a 2-minute limit per group, which ensures conciseness. So there are clear rubrics to support the consistent effective teacher assessment, and also it's a balanced workload which avoids students and teachers overload. So it also provides a reliable snapshot of students' achievements within a limited time.
Now I will explain how our lesson applies to Principle 7, formative and summative assessment, and Principle 8, timely feedback. For Principle 7, we designed both formative and summative tasks across the lesson. In LO1, students complete a Kahoot quiz to test their basic understanding of literary devices. The quiz gives intense scores, so we should quickly spot misconceptions. In LO2, the group mind map allowed us to observe how students were identifying and explaining literary devices in real time. Those two tasks help guide students during the learning process. Then, in LO3, we use poetry writing as a summative assessment, where students had applied what they had learned independently. Finally, in LO4, they gave a presentation of their poems, showing both understanding and expressions. Principle 8, in timely feedback. In LO1, Kahoot gave instant feedback, and we allowed it with a short teacher summary to address common errors. During the mind map activity in LO2, the teacher provided feedback on the spot by moving between groups and asking questions. In LO3, before students began writing, we used guiding questions to help them plan, and during writing, they received individual comments to improve their poems. After each group's presentation in LO4, they received quick feedback based on a rubric, along with peer plus to boost their confidence.
Thank you.